in my opinion.
Well, write a letter to WWE Creative because I don't know if that's gonna happen.
They ain't never gonna get my letter like people from YouTube ain't never gonna get my letter either.
Lord
So,
Jesus.
but when it comes to her building new star stuff like that too, remember last week we talked about the hashtag that Naomi deserves better.
Oh Jesus.
So, Booker T came and gave his 2 cents about the whole hashtag with Naomi. Mm-hmm. Okay, now I do know if somebody could pull it up, there was a retweet of him and Naomi, and they kind of settled whatever was going on.
I have no desire to pull that up, but go ahead.
What?
Go ahead. I'll pull it up.
So, on the latest podcast, Booker T addressed the situation, and he said, I say to hell with all these hashtags. That's what I say. Maybe because I'm old school and I can't see myself back in the day. We did have the dirt sheets and could have easily got in the dirt sheets by saying something. I just couldn't see myself using social media on that platform to try to move up in the business, especially if you're talented. I said Naomi is probably the most athletic female in the locker room and perhaps anywhere in the world as far as the wrestling business goes. But as far as making it to the level, it is channels you got to go through. It is learning curves and really in-depth studying you have to go through to actually get to that point. Trust me, it doesn't happen by accident just because you can go out there and do a backflip or a big move. It's not about the moves, guys. It's really not. I always think about what was told of me by guys like Ricky the Dragon Steamboat, and that stuff it resonated. Anybody out in the world that's trying to get into the business, if you think someone like Ricky the Dragon Steamboat cannot help you learn this business better, even still today, okay, that's your opinion. I'm going to end it on this. If you think I can't help you at all, and that's all I'm trying to do is help, you can get to get you to the next level. You think guys on the internet, on social media can help you more than I do, go that route. I'm going to leave it at that.
Now, can I just insert something here? I gotta call it back to our guy Lionel Green, also known as Leo Rush here.
We're going
this
government
right here
now?
feels
Okay.
like what he was talking about. Because I know he was directing his comments at Mark Henry because he had some issues with him. But this right here feels very counterproductive.
Okay. I'm listening.
I feel like he's in his feelings about whatever happened with Mark Henry in NXT and when he got to 205 Live and maybe on the main roster or whatever. But these kind of comments give me that feeling. Like there are people there who are more willing to play the game and will hold you back because you do not feel the same that they do. Because I'm going to be real with you. I pulled up what she said. So I'm going to read to you what she said. After he tweeted that or said that, she just responded with "will do" and tagged Booker T with a gif of Jim Carrey. So then Sasha Banks replies, "Don't feed into useless opinions, no matter who they come from. Keep glowing and shining like you always do. You ain't got nothing to prove to anyone. Hashtag Team Bad." Right? So then she retweeted the end part that you just said. I'm going to end it on this, etc., etc. Says, "I don't feel this. This is from coming from Naomi.
Mm-hmm.
I don't feel this way, nor would I ever say something like this. Though I felt my work ethic and what I have earned on my own merit was dismissed, the advice and constructive criticism was greatly appreciated and will be applied, especially coming from at Booker T 5 times. I'll continue striving to improve." So he replies, "I appreciate that. I'm only ever here to help, and if there's any way I can, the offer will always stand."
Yeah.
This is the same issue we talking about with Vince. These guys who are very, I'm not going to say very disconnected, but are very old school and don't seem to completely understand how things are going nowadays. It's not like Naomi started the Naomi deserves better hashtag. If she feels like, yes, she deserved better than she got, and she wants to agree with someone who created the hashtag, or people who tweet that she's great and they want to see her do more, and they're upset about her being in their dumbass karaoke segment. She has every right to do that. That does not negate what she's done, which is why I agree with what she's saying, which is like, even though I think that these comments were very dismissive of what I've already done here, I get it. So yes, everybody has room to improve. We've already established that she has room to improve. But you can't... There's a certain arrogance, some of it well earned to an extent because of who you are and what you've done in the business, but to say, if you think some guys on the internet can help you more than I can, when did she say that? Like, it seems like it felt like more of, it felt like creative criticism and kind of an attack to certain, to just a bit, because it was just like, when did she come out and say, I don't give a shit about what you said, or you don't know what you're talking about?
Nah, she didn't say that, but the fans, they was getting them.
See, I was about to say, I'll wait till my turn come, because I think what happens to everybody is indirect anger.
Exactly.
Because people are coming at Booker T for saying the things about Naomi.
And again, some of the stuff that he said is not untrue, but it's just, again, the way you package it, it's all in the way you finesse it. And Booker T ain't a finesse. He ain't fitting to mince words, which he really shouldn't. But again, I feel like that right there is, in trying to validate your point, you are chopping her off at the knees.
I can agree with that.
That's what I'm saying.
I can agree with that. I also there's two different eras talking here too. Mm-hmm. See, Booker T came up in racist WCW. That was like blatant. It's just not systematic, racially insensitive WWE. Mm-hmm. WCW was like, blam, like, we're going to make you two slaves. Remember that, him and Stevie Ray?
Jesus Christ.
And he came out with Colonel, what was his name? The manager who like Colonel Sanders.
Mm-hmm. Oh my God.
Yeah, exactly. That was WCW, because WCW is a southern promotion. Mm-hmm. Okay, in Georgia. So,
southern promotion, you said? No,
stop. Everyone stop.
So with him having to fight and claw to get to where he's at, mm-hmm. And like I said, they didn't have social media back then.
Exactly.
I understand what he's trying to say. I think he's directing at the wrong person.
Exactly.
I think I really, in my opinion, I think he's directing at the wrong person. Now, and once again, also, I think he's directing all the anger he's getting from fans to her.
And that's
not right neither. And to the point where, like I said, it could have probably been a thing where she probably could have called him up. He probably could have talked to her like one-on-one, like adults, and I had to do it over social media. I don't know. They didn't explain all that stuff like that, but
they might not even have that kind of relationship though.
They may not. I'm not saying they may not. But if he wants to go out and reach out to help younger talent, it's like this. Booker T trained Ember Moon. Mm-hmm. I can see the difference in Ember Moon that I can see in Naomi.
Yeah.
Okay, I can see. I can see. Well, if I compare them two together, I can see different flaws and different higher things, because those are two both athletic women.
Yeah.
But Ember Moon has a different presence about her that Naomi doesn't have yet. So, it does come off as dismissive. I understand, because I truly think Booker T wants Naomi to succeed, but I think it's more of a thing where it's just like, we've seen people get over because somebody put a hashtag out, and I guess he feels as though that, she needs to do more work, which I agree with that, but I'm saying, I still want you to support your people. It's like I said, it's hard, because like I said, no matter what I say, I'm coming off on like the wrong side here.
I don't know if you're coming off on the wrong side. This is exactly what I was telling you about the other day when I was telling you about mansplaining.
Yeah.
This very much feels like a mansplained situation. Naomi had nothing to do with this. And instead of coming and saying, oh, you know what, I didn't realize. I don't exactly understand completely how social media works. And I didn't know that Naomi had nothing to do with this. Or even if that's, you don't want to come out and say that, if once she came to you and said, I didn't say any of this, I didn't say that I didn't want your help, I don't want it to come off like that, I'm always willing to do the work. After she said, I felt like my work ethic was dismissed, this is your chance to come in and say, I don't want you to feel like that everything you've done is dismissed, but I still want you to work to improve or whatever. But that's not what he did. So in the end, he still comes out looking like the ass.
Mm-hmm.
That's just my take on it. Again, what he said was not completely wrong, but you're not finna chop this black woman down at the knees. If you so concerned with everybody scraping and clawing, why would you do more to harm what's going on? That's counterproductive.
How about you, Prime?
I think when he was saying it in the quote, I think I thought I knew what you were trying to say, but I was like, maybe he didn't say it right. Because I was thinking, because the way people on Twitter made it seem as if he just totally dismissed them and he called her trash or something. That's what they was making it seem like. I just thought he meant no matter what you've done, no matter how many accomplishments you have, you should still start from scratch, act like you're starting from scratch. It's what I felt like he was saying. As like, yeah, you don't won a championship and you deserved all this, but nothing is deserved. You still have to earn everything that you get, is what I thought he meant. Because they were saying she deserves, despite like right now, like she deserves to be the champion right now. Even though she did kind of leave and come back, so I thought he was kind of doing it from that angle. That's why.
Yeah, there have been a lot of hashtags that go around, or the chant that I hear some people say, like, you remember the "you deserve it" chants like that,
Mm-hmm.
and some of them are just like, oh, okay, look, I get it, and some I don't get, and I'm being serious. If Naomi goes out and beats Lacey Evans on Friday, we know why, and then if they want to put her, say if the Sasha Bailey thing gets extended to WrestleMania, right? So I can see Naomi being the next challenger for Bailey at SummerSlam, but that don't fix the problem. That don't fix the problem for both ends, because you already, like I said, you gonna have one half saying, well, you're pandering, and you have the other half saying that it's about time she got this, but does she really deserve it? Naomi, and I'm going to go back to the podcast I listened to, made a good point. He says, does Naomi deserve better? She does. She deserves not to be singing in no karaoke contest. She deserves to have a storyline. She deserves to go out there and have matches. Because there's a lot of women on that roster that you can say that about.
Mm-hmm.
They all deserve better, but some people get it misquoted. Some people think deserving better means just straight up going for the championship.
That's not.
I don't think that's what it means.
You may not think that's what people are identifying it with. When they're saying Naomi deserves better, as in some people said on Twitter said, when Charlotte was agreeing with the hashtag and they're saying you should have given some of your title reigns again. That's not it.
That wasn't it. I mean, and I think that was this hashtag was created directly in response to that dumbass karaoke segment.
Yeah, it was. I mean, she deserves better than that. Ruby Riott deserves not to be losing 12 matches in a row since she came back. You know what I'm saying? Bianca Belair deserves to be on
TL. Be on main event. I'm sorry.
Is that?
I'm sorry.
Yeah. Why is main event even a thing still?
Why? Why are we doing dark matches for the PC workers? What are we doing?
It's like we don't need it. There are a list of women, because if you think about it, they don't treat, if the women ain't in the top storyline for the title, they don't treat them like anything. Kyrie Zane deserves better to get her ass beat by Nia Jax for the past couple months.
She allegedly is about to leave anyway.
Well, she leave. I'm saying,
No,
but
she done left.
at that, she deserves better than that for the talent that she puts in there. And I'm not trying to turn this away from a black thing or anything type of thing out there. But I'm saying, but when it comes to the women on there are so many women that they have that deserves better than the time, effort, or anything that they give the woman. Because it's like right now, if you're not Sasha and Bailey or Asuka, who are you? I'm talking on the main roster.
Oh girl, oh my god, the other iconic. I can't
Billie
identify
Kay?
one from the other. Whoever is not there was able to just walk away because she wasn't there. She wasn't there last week.
Yeah, Billie Kay. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. She wasn't there last week, and she's just like, I'm taking care of other business. How in the time where we have maybe 2 actual tag teams? How, besides unless you sick, for real, or you really, why would they just let you step away on business? They would never just.
Maybe it's her, mother or something,
Well, she said that she was handling, she tweeted herself that she was handling something with her business, like a work business. And people were speculating that she could be sick, and she's just saying that because they don't want people getting it out. But whatever the case is, when I said earlier that you have
we'll see it next week when she come back.
Yeah. You have a struggling ass women's division. And I'm not saying that in the sense of AEW, because theirs is struggling.
Yeah.
You have a struggling women's division by your own design. It's not for lack of talent or lack of people.
And I think also, Booker T comes from that. They see, it's that respecting women era.
Mm-hmm.
That's a lot of problem. I've always said I feel those was more sexist than racist, and I will continue to keep saying that. And I think because he's on video congratulating and giving big ups to Kofi for his title run. You know what I'm saying? And it's just like, you gotta understand that these women, no matter how much they scratch and claw, do not get the same opportunities as these men do.
Maybe he feels like Kofi deserved it because he's been here for 11 years and he just now.
So 1 year or 1 year over Naomi. So I'm saying.
But I'm just being sarcastic. I'm not being serious.
Yeah, and like I said, I would love to learn from a Hall of Famer like Booker T. I'm saying I think his words were misplaced and they was definitely aimed at the wrong person, and it should be a thing like where you need to take responsibility for your actions. Apologize to this woman because she had nothing to do with the hashtag, and right now this is the way the world works. Okay, so if they're going to tweet out and then her fans want to support her that way, then I'm saying okay, she gets support, and then she's gonna come. She keeps coming and doing her job regardless. She can keep going to the gym and doing her stuff regardless. Then it's like this.
She didn't pull a Sasha Banks.
What you mean by that?
Well, she just left.
Oh yeah,
she disappeared.
Yeah, Sasha ain't getting no reason to mess. She
disappeared and came back, and look where she's at right now.
She came back because exactly. I'm saying. I'm just saying if she wants to go to the side by look, like after talk about this, okay, let me talk to Booker. Let me talk to how can I try to get this character over? What's some things I could do? If it was handled better like that, like behind the scenes, I think probably a little better. But I mean, it sounds very tone deaf.
I have a question. I can't say a good question. I have a question. I would be curious to know how many superstars, especially women, are actually going to Booker T.
I don't know.
I'm curious because you always hear people talk about Mark Henry, whether you had whatever problems you may have with him or not, because somebody said in the comments when I was reading that story, it seems like Booker T and Mark Henry are really quick to criticize other black wrestlers. I didn't say that. That was in the comment.
Mm-hmm.
But I still hear people saying they go to Mark Henry. I don't hear people really saying like they do to that magnitude. Yeah, I went to Booker T for some advice.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just curious. I know y'all can't physically answer this question, but I'm genuinely curious. Do they really feel like what he says gives value to their career?
I think some people. Oh, sorry.
No, I was just going to say, or do they feel like like he would respond like this.
Now, I think some people actually do because he did kind of start the careers of some people. Like, his reality of wrestling did bring up the Usos. So, I don't know if that counts as his, like, wrestling promotion of him physically saying, okay, these guys are going, like, they actually take people from his actual company to start training for WWE.
I don't mean his.
I don't know if that counts.
I don't mean folks like an Ember Moon or Usos. I don't mean people who came from his, like, he trained. I'm talking about people in WWE, in the business, how they turned to a Mark Henry or how they turned to a Dusty Rhodes.
Mm-hmm. Oh no, I don't. I mean, no offense to Booker, but Booker wouldn't be the first,
or even an R-Truth at this point.
Yeah, R-Truth would be. Yeah.
I'm curious.
What's
it be like R-Truth or a Titus or something.
Because that right there tells me everything I need to know. Not necessarily what your outward persona. If this is what you're willing to say out to the public, or you have misguided anger, or whatever, I can only imagine what you're willing to say when the cameras or Twitter or IG or whatever is not on. So I'm curious to know that. Because he's like, well, I'm just here to help and blah. But do people really want to go to you for help when you do shit like this?
I mean, I can't argue. And then the answer to the question is like, I truly.
Oh, no, sorry, I just thought of a name.
Go
I thought of Xavier Woods. He actually does go to Booker.
Okay.
Well, I'm saying, but that's the thing. I've heard different men go to Booker. You know what I'm saying, like that. I haven't heard any women. I mean, other than the ones that he has trained. You know what I'm saying, that has done that. Like, once again, I don't know what plays out behind the scenes.
Yeah, I know. This was a rhetorical question.
I know. So I don't know, because a lot of people, you know what I'm saying, truly, people tweet stuff and then they probably talk about it backstage. Like, I don't know what truly goes on. I can only go by, once again, the stuff out there. And then, yes, other than the whole Leo Rush thing with Mark Henry, I haven't heard anything bad about Mark Henry.
I don't know, like,
to the extent of what the whole thing with the Leo Rush thing is.
I don't know if that's the first time I've heard that, though. Like, that they feel like they're harder, and it could be a kind of the same thing that we, like, as a people personally experience. Yeah, you're going to be harder on me because I've got to work harder than say my other counterparts. But
it's also a thing where, like, because I know Prime watches First Take, and we was watching when they was talking about the whole thing about what Charles Barkley said about what's been going on, how he turned into the circus. And I forgot who the guy from the Dallas Cowboys was saying, like, we don't sit and have conversations, because 2-3 years ago I would have thought that Stephen A. and Charles Barkley is not for us. But they come from a different era, and sometimes you really gotta sit down and have these conversations, which I don't think both sides don't have.
Because I was just about to say, this is another one of the the drawbacks of constantly throwing your older talent or your older legends in, where they're always around, and it's like y'all still want stuff to be the way. It's one thing to, like, visit, show up a little every so often, but to always be around and to still have your hand in stuff, you still want stuff to happen the way it was happening when you were around, and it's not like that anymore.
Exactly. It's kind of like what he was saying. My grandmother was like, "What are y'all so angry about?" And he was just like, "Cause y'all, I came from an era when none of y'all, no African American made $1 million. You know what I'm saying? And now, it's better for me because I'm from that era." And he said, "Well, let me tell you what's going on in this era." So I think the way Booker T is looking at it is like, you're in this white man's world, okay? Especially as a black woman. There is triple the work that you're going to have to do, and glowing ain't it. It's glowing and being, because look how athletic Booker T is. That ain't what got him to that spot. Booker T been spinning Rudy since the 80s. You know what I'm saying? But doing all the breakdance and doing all the stuff that Stevie Ray couldn't do. I'm just saying.
Always find a way to slide that man under the bus.
Come on, you know who won the name of Booker T.
Exactly. So that did not get him to that point. But when he learned the ring psychology, when he learned promo, when he learned character, and he had to force himself, in his mind, which is unfortunate, he still probably thinks that she's fighting in 1995. It's not 1995 anymore.
I mean, yeah, he probably like, well, you're not playing the game.
So the way he's looking at it is like, let me tell you, because I worked with this and I worked with that, what they're looking for. And to be honest with you, that's not always the case anymore. Mm-mm. And I think that sometimes it happens with Mark Henry. You gotta understand, people from different eras.
I think that we understand that, but I wonder if it's because usually the younger counterpart is like, look, bro, we looking at it as two different ways because we from two different times. But you gotta, a lot of times these people from your elders from the other eras and different time periods looking down at you like you're still a child or something, like you don't know what you're talking about, and because you didn't go through what they went through, sometimes they feel like what you say has no value. But if we talking about playing the game in 2020, I'm the one still playing the game. You've cashed out and retired and went to sit at home. I'm doing what's happening right now, but that doesn't seem to resonate. And that's not just in wrestling. That's all over the place. I don't know. Because I know we've been on this for a minute. I want for Naomi to get the opportunities that she deserves, that she puts the work in for. And I also want for people not to come behind and make her... It's like, we got to bite the bullet a lot of times for shit that we don't even do. I gotta come in and come behind somebody and clean up their mess. I had nothing to do with, and that's exactly what just happened. She had shit to do with this, but she had to come out and be like, I'm sorry that this went down like this, and she didn't do anything.